how I obtained my first ever seven-figure client, and how you can do the same too. My name is Khaisang. Over the past year, I brought in over 3.8 million in sales. And in this video, I'm going to show you two ways of how you can get your first ever high ticket client. I'm going to split this video into two sections. The first one is number one, how to find them using 3 steps. The second way I'm going to show you is how to attract them doing two things. Right, so let's dive right into that. The first way I'm going to start this video is by actually telling my story about how I actually got my first seven-figure client. So in my work as a sales executive, I went out and started building relationships and pitching people. So one of the things we needed was we needed a partner to help us for our clients to do team building. So after searching through my network, I organized a meeting with a certain gentleman. It was through a friend that I knew, and he recommended another gentleman that he knew. And so the three of us decided to have a meeting. At that time, I wanted to talk about team building. I wanted this guy to help us with team building so that our clients could always order team building services using him as our service provider. So after we talked, we had a great chat. It wasn't even a lunch. It was literally sitting at a venue somewhere in the mall, and we just literally talked for about 20-30 minutes. Very pleasant conversation. After that, we left. By the way, at the time I wasn't looking for a seven-figure client. Honestly, I was just trying to build a relationship with him and partner with him for team building, right? So fast forward. Oh, and by the way, the conversation was successful. So he mentioned that he was interested, and we'd go back and forth again in terms of the details, right? So fast forward 3 months later, I get a call from the very same guy. And when he calls me, this time he's not talking about team building. Now he's talking about bringing in a client for me. And little did I know when I spoke to him that not only does he provide team building services, but he's actually on the board of a provincial sports association that works with sports teams all across the province. And he had a booking that he wanted to work with me on. And long story short, this booking was valued at 1.2 million rand. So I scored the client by not actually trying to score the client. Does it make sense? I wasn't really trying to score him as a client. But the reason why I scored him as a client, I'll talk about right here in the terms of how I managed to settle this deal. So we talked about it, we went back and forth negotiating prices. Eventually we settled on the price, and then the deal went through. So now, how can this replicate for you? You may be saying, oh, that's great for you, Khaisam, but what's that got to do with me? So I'll show you what I believe are some of the unconscious things that I do and I did that helped me, and the things that you can copy and do. Right. So I said I'd split this into two ways. So I believe high ticket clients, you go looking for them, right? That is pursuit, right? And then the second way is you can attract them, okay, where they come to you. So there's certain things you can do to go find them and then win them as clients. And then there's certain things you can do to attract them. I know some people in this space, they say, don't find clients, attract them. And others, when they give advice, they're talking about going to find them. I think you should do both. I think you should understand what both are. You should know how to attract, but you should also know how to go and find them. Because you'll find there'll be seasons when you need to understand and do both. If you understand the skill set of both, then you can always choose at each moment which one you want to do. Does it make sense? So I'm going to first talk about how to find them. In this case, I found a client without really finding him, but here's what I do, and this is what you do to find them. 3 steps. Steps number one is that you make a list. So depending on what business you are, you know who are the clients that are worth more. If you, for example, are an accountant, then a small business that's going to pay you 3,000 Rand a month for accounting or auditing services is not the same as a corporate company that's going to ask you to audit the entire financial year, which may be worth a couple 100,000, right? So you want these higher ticket clients, you know who they are, you make a list of them. This method I'm about to teach you is called the Dream 100 method. These are your dream clients that you would love to work with. These are the high ticket clients that you would love to work with. These are the 7-figure clients that you would like to work with. If you don't know who your 7-figure clients are, take time out and actually think about the business that you are in. If what you are selling is low ticket, there's always a way to increase the value of the sale. Creating bundles, creating packages that cost more, but you're not just adding numbers, you're adding value in the bundle so that these clients are paying more per sale. So these are higher value clients, right? So the first step, like I said, make a list of these people. Is it corporate companies? Is it a certain type of entrepreneur, a certain type of business person or brand that is earning a certain amount? You make a list of at least 100 of them because we need to know who they are. And when I say list, you write down the names, phone number, and email of the contact person, right? If it's a corporate, like I said, is it the marketing director? Is it the supply chain manager? Is it the procurement officer? Is it the business owner? Okay, so you write down the list of names, and that may take time, but you need to first create your list because we are going to reach out to these people. This goes to step 2. Now that you have step 1, you've got your list. Step 2 now is about reaching out, but you don't just reach out by pitching them. This is where people get it wrong. So when you reach out, particularly to high value clients, you cannot talk the same to them as you talk to every other client. They tend to be much more logical and they like to be wined and dined. In other words, because everybody's trying to get their attention, you need to be different in how you approach them, your messaging, your approach, right? So you approach them. What is always a good way to approach them, and what I found works, is you reach out with an attractive promise or with a free gift. So for an example, if you want to get all the CEOs of certain companies, you can send a shoe, an old shoe, and FedEx it, right? FedEx it to the office with their name on it. FedExes always get opened. Just like a hack. Unlike emails, depending on, they probably have lots of emails if this is a high profile person. But if it's a FedEx, it's a physical thing that you send to their office or to their home, they're gonna open it. It's 100% open rate. So you send a shoe, for an example, and when they receive that shoe, in that shoe you put a note as well. When they open it, they're going to see an old shoe. Okay, what's going on with the shoe? And then in the note is going to say, hi, Mr. Whoever, I just wanted to send you the shoe because I wanted to put my foot in the door, and I'm hoping that I can continue to communicate with you. I would like to make an appointment with you to show you attractive promise. So the attractive promise, if you know they're trying to penetrate a new market within a certain area, then the promise would be, I'd like to have an appointment with you where I can show you how you can penetrate this city's market by 50% within the next 30 to 60 days. Call me on this number. Let's have a chat on when we can meet, right? That's an attractive promise. So you're doing something different, something unique, and the attractive promise is got to do with them. Why I talk about attractive promises, it benefits them. You're not saying, hi, Mr. CEO, I want to tell you about my accounting services. That's talking about you. And the first thing they do, this guy wants my money, they're going to switch off and disconnect. So what attractive promise can you offer to set an appointment? You're not selling your services. You're setting an appointment, because with high ticket clients and high ticket sales, the best way is typically face to face, you need to do it. You need to talk to them face to face to close the sale, or at least over a virtual call. That is the most likely, that's the best way to really close a high ticket deal. Notice how big deals are done over the counter when you're seeing the person, right? You're not going to do it over a website and they click a link to buy something that's worth over 20,000. It has to be done over a call, face to face, or a virtual call. So you are reaching out to create appointments. So you reach out to create with an attractive offer. Or number two, you reach out and you lead with a free gift. A free gift could be a free sample, a free test drive. It could be maybe a site inspection. It could be a voucher. Let's say you're a restaurant and you're looking for all the high net worth individuals within your area because you know they're the ones who are going to spend the most over a year. So you may send a voucher out to all of them in the mail and you say, "Hi, Mr. Whoever, we just wanted to appreciate you because of the hard work you're doing in our city. Here's a voucher to you to come at our restaurant as a VIP. It's valued at 500 Rand. You and your partner can come in for a 3-course meal. On the house, we're sponsoring it just to say thank you." And what you're doing is that's your free gift. You're getting foot traffic into your restaurant. And now when they walk in, obviously you're going to treat them like A1, and then you can pitch them to keep coming back on some sort of a recurring package or something of that sort. But essentially you're reaching out with a free gift. The free gift is low friction in terms of them saying no to. It's got to be very easy for them to say yes to. Okay, so take time out. Think about what would be your attractive promise. What would be your free gift that you're giving to them? Okay, and this works because it's a numbers game. If you do this to 100, 200 people, the law of averages is a stubborn thing. A certain percentage is always ready. One thing you should know is 3% of the market is always ready to buy. It's what drives all commerce. So there is a percentage of those prospects that you send out to who will be interested and respond. If you do your attractive promise right, or if you do your free gift right, a percentage will respond. And this is now taking us to step number 3. Remember, how do we find high clients? Number 1, we make a list of them. Number 2, we reach out for an appointment with an attractive promise or with a free gift. And number 3, at the appointment, you show them how working with you helps them reach their goals. Working with you helps them solve their problems. Okay, restaurant owner, now that they've come for the free voucher, now what is their problem? Is that they're always overworked and tired, so they don't have time to cook. They're not eating healthy. Okay, that makes them overweight. That makes them even more fatigued, so they're losing productivity at work. They're losing money. So you can tell them and say, "Thank you for coming through. We've got this amazing new program. It's called the VIP Diner program, where you only pay 1,500 a month. You get 3-course meals for free, or it could be 6 standard meals as part of your package. You also get, and then it's just something that they get. The idea here would be you trying to get them to walk into your restaurant, to get them to pay recurringly into your restaurant. And when you show them that you are helping them solve their problem, which is they're overworked and fatigued, so they're not eating healthy, they're always eating fast food. Why eat fast food when you can just come eat here? You're eating healthy food, you're going to be healthier, you're going to be more energized and alert, which means you're going to be more productive at work, which means you're going to be more productive, which better output, more revenue. Okay, so that is just an example. So how does working with you help them achieve their goals? Like I always say, people that have YFM, running in their minds. YFM, I mean WIIFM. What's in it for me? The only thing they think about whenever you talk to anyone is, how do I benefit? What's in it for me? So you're showing them how they benefit by working with you, by giving you money, right? So 3 simple steps. Okay, try it and let me know your results, because this is a very simple, I try to make it as simple as possible. Of course, there are more complexities to each step, but this is the core skeleton. You can start adding meat to it in terms of your own personality and flavor, but this is the core of basically how you can start finding high ticket clients, 7-figure clients. All right, now let's go to the second section, which is attracting them. Okay, so as per my story that I was giving, is that I wasn't really looking to get a 7-figure deal from this man as I was speaking with him. In fact, I didn't even know that he had a network. I didn't that he worked on this board of Provincial Sports Association. I didn't know any of that. But what I did, I believe, is what helped me get this deal. And some people may call it luck, good fortune, but here are the 2 things that I believe I did and you can do to help you start getting quote unquote good fortune, but also will allow you to start attracting the type of deals you're looking for. And number 1 is to lead with value. Okay, so it's very similar to step 2 of finding, which is whenever you're talking to anyone, always find ways to add value to them without expectation of anything back. When I came to see this guy, it was like I just decided to pick him. We're looking for a team building supplier for our clients, and I was telling him how we wanted to work with him. I did maths and showed him how much he could potentially earn, because we're a big organization and things like that. And essentially, I was even giving him ideas of how we could price it so that he can make more per client, etc. When he told me his pricing strategy, I gave advice on how to make it more so that he can get more per client. So I was just adding value to him. And I wasn't really expecting him to pay me like a consulting fee or anything like that. And I say this to say that when you keep adding value to people with no expectation of payment, it does 2 things, particularly if you're somebody who's looking to get more clients, right? Which I believe you may be watching this. It does 2 things when you lead to add value to someone without expectation of anything. Number 1, it demonstrates that you understand them. So when you giving this advice like an accountant and you have a free breakthrough session with a prospect and then you're telling him how he can save taxes, since you know that taxes is one of the headaches in their company and you showing him how to save taxes, you're not charging him anything. When you demonstrate, when this person realizes that you actually understand what their problem is, it builds trust. They feel like, wow, this person trusts me. I mean, this person understands me. And when someone feels like you understand them, when you give them a problem, when you provide solutions to the problem, they will still believe you when you recommend your product. Does it make sense? Because you've demonstrated that you understand the problem, they will believe you when you recommend a solution. And recommending a solution will be your product offering, particularly if you know that it is something that can fix their problem. Does it make sense? So leading with value, number 1, demonstrates you understand their problem. Number 2, it builds trust, as I mentioned. And trust is the bridge you need to get clients. Trust me when you trust me when I say this, that anytime anyone builds or buys anything, there is a level of trust that must be built. If the level of trust is low, no one will buy. The KLT factor, I've talked about this. Someone buys from you if they know you, like you, trust you, and want what you have. But the T for trust is the most important out of all of these things. If they know you and like you, but they don't trust you or your product, they're not going to buy. And you want to build trust to the highest level. In fact, trust will even overstep liking you. Even if they don't like you, but they trust that you'll deliver, they will buy. This is what, if you think about drug dealers and uh, partners in crime, crime lords, even though they hate each other, they're fighting for clients, they're willing to shoot each other, they don't like each other, but because he knows this guy is going to deliver my drugs to this place, for an example, they will still do business with that person. So the trust part is important. So again, you're building trust. You're building trust with these people. Does it make sense? So you're leading value, you're adding value, you're demonstrating that you know their problem, and you're building trust. Now, this is what I did, and I believe when I built trust, he trusted me to come back with this deal. All right, so the first thing is to lead with adding value without getting payment. Okay, the second thing I believe you can do to attract more high ticket clients is to value all your prospects and to value all your clients, whether big or small. Value them regardless. Yes, I do say when you've got bigger, high profile clients, they do need you to treat them a bit better and do a little bit more extra mile. But under G, all your clients, whether big or small, whether this client is worth a few hundred or a few thousand or a few million, all of them should be given a standard level of high value given to them. So, what ways can you add value beyond the sale, even if they don't give you money? Giving them weekly tips, giving them trends, or sending them links to articles that they may find interesting, or networking events that they may find valuable that you give to them, or new offers that you're seeing or that you may have as a company that you keep sending to them. You keep adding value to everyone in your space, whether it be number one, your clients. Number two, I'll start with the circle, which is number one, your employees. Okay, so even the people who work on your team, add value to them. Next is your clients. As the circle goes bigger, next is your network, right? Family, relatives, people, colleagues, people within your spaces. Are you in an association? Are you in a church? Are you in a club? Add value to everybody you see. How can you add value with no expectation, no immediate expectation? Why do I say this attracts high ticket clients? Because you don't know who, when you add value to, who they may know or when they may come to you again to with a deal. All right, this is exactly what happened with me and this gentleman, is that I added value to me and he came back. This is something that I do personally, and it has been working for me for the longest. I'll give you another example. There's a young entrepreneur that I'm working with, that I was working with some time back, who started a photography and clothing brand. And so when I had an event in 2019, I featured him as one of the young entrepreneurs. I sponsored him. Our company sponsored him, so he had a platform to speak, and he also had a store. And I just kept giving him advice, kept giving him context, he took pictures with DJ Spoo, and then I plugged him into another entrepreneurship incubator program, and his company started growing. No expectation, just adding value to people within my circle, right? And time later, now his company has grown, he's got a team, and now they are the ones who are doing shooting for my podcast. And it has made actually life so much easier. When I did that, I wasn't thinking about I'm going to use them later on. I was just doing that because I want to add value. And I think it's one of those, yeah, like airy fairy things in the air that's, oh no, tell me what to say, or tell me. I think the mindset of just going out and adding value to people is what attracts more good things to you, and including those high ticket clients you're looking for. So start right now, look into your current client base, all the people who have paid you over the last 12 months. make a list of them, and then do something for them, whether it's send a note with a gift, whether it's a physical gift or a small gift from the company, or sending something that just adds value to them. Okay, maybe it's a free book that shows them how they can, whatever their line of business is, how 5 tips on how to improve this year. You're just adding value to them. In that moment, you're not expecting anything back. Doing this on a consistent basis, I believe, is what will help you attract more goodwill and more of the clients you're looking for, particularly the high ticket clients. All right, so those are the ideas that I believe have been working for me, and I believe they'll work for you to attract and also to find high ticket clients. If you found this video informative and valuable, please like and subscribe. Share this with somebody who finds it valuable. And if you loved what I spoke here, you'll definitely love my book. The description is in the link below. Attract More Paying Clients. And make sure you get your copy if you click on that link. And also, if you'd like help from me for coaching, you can click on the link and book a call. Other than that, thank you for watching. Wishing you every single success. Please let me know how these strategies have worked by commenting as well some of your results. I read every comment. And thank you again for watching. I'll see you on the next video.